We're already laughing, and we haven't even started, ladies and gentlemen. We are back.
Always a good time with you fellas.
Another episode of 3 Cents Podcast. We are the 3 Cents. Some would argue we have no sense, but nonetheless, we're going to continue on. I'm Ernie Zuniga. This is Cleto Rodriguez. This is Mike Taylor.
Welcome, everybody.
Typically, in our past shows, our eye candy, we've had to settle on Cleto Rodriguez being the eye candy. But
that's it.
Today, I think it's safe to say we've upgraded with our friends here at Prestige Motorsports.
Okay, so when I started doing podcasts, it was for days like today.
Yeah.
I feel like a winner. This feels cool.
I feel like calling my mom.
This is big time.
I'm a champion.
And I don't feel like I belong in here, to be honest. I know I can't afford the memberships.
Well,
yeah, I feel
we
like
go
I
in
should
together,
be mopping
maybe.
the place.
If we go in together, we can swap. We can share the car. I got dibs on Wednesday.
That's right.
Okay.
I'll take Sunday.
No, this is really cool, and I wish we had like panoramic view of the building we're in. But man,
we're going to post
awesome.
pictures on our social media. We've already done that here leading up to the show. But that's not all, ladies and gentlemen. We have another big announcement. Since we last were together, we are thrilled beyond belief to have added. You might have noticed on the screen an additional logo from the last time we were here.
What happened to our screen here?
I will need to work on the iPad here. But on the top right, you see Integrity Roofing and Siding. And so we're happy to report now, and LG is going to come in and help us with the iPad here.
I'm so happy about today's show. I brushed my hair.
I took a bath.
Can see that.
Which
I took a bath.
I see that. You do smell.
I took a bath.
You do have a showery smell to you.
I got rid of the axe, and I said I'm just going to use real soap.
I have discovered that over the years I've kind of let my hair scene just do whatever.
Not
I
anymore.
don't even have a natural part. I had to force the part today because I actually bothered to put a brush into it.
Like Moses in the Red Sea.
Yeah,
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I've got that wispy, stupid
it works for
hair.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, yeah, I'm happy.
Mike,
I've got
I
a
would
new
take your
T-shirt
hair on a bad day, my friend.
I know you would, but it's still wild, and I was able to part it because this is a huge day, and I'm messing this up already. This is why you do stuff like this in the community. This is why you get together with good dudes like you two guys.
Thank you.
They like us. They really do, at least for now.
We talked about how when we got together for the first time, we thought, we've got something here. We think we're okay, right? We think we can put on a good product. But when somebody outside of us,
thinks we're okay,
unsolicited comes, and not our wives or our significant others, outside unsolicited comes to us and says, you know what, we believe in what you're doing, and here's a check to prove it. Integrity Roofing and Siding, Ronnie and Stephanie Suarez, they see something. They see something, and they've
figured out
been
what.
committed. Hey, there you go.
Oh, look at that.
There they are.
Look at
There they are.
God
They've
almighty.
been in the roofing and siding business for 30-plus years, and I've known them personally for a while just in the Consejo Fiesta Rey Feo community.
Sure.
Two of the sweetest, nicest people you could possibly meet. And I'm not just saying that because they are a paid sponsor, but you'll meet them and you'll see them. And I was just looking around because they were going to stop by. And,
Are you
and
scared
say hi.
already? Ronnie's looking.
No, I just want to make sure we're good,
You
right,
have a
Ronnie?
new
We're good.
master starting today.
Yeah, it's like and the boss is watching. But no, seriously, I know I speak for the three of us. We're thrilled beyond belief that Integrity is on board, and we're looking forward to a great partnership and many, many more episodes of fun and doing good by them.
Yeah, man.
So as soon as we can visit with Ronnie and Stephanie, we will do that. But we have a show to get to and a lot of things on our minds.
Well, this has turned into a job now. It was a weekly experiment. Now it's a job.
Now we're on the hook here.
So
come on, fellas.
Let's do a kick-ass show here right
Okay,
off the
so
top.
Mike started last time, so why don't you, Cleto? Why don't you kick us off here?
Well,
what's on your mind, sir?
Well, one thing I was talking about this earlier this morning with a friend of mine, and we were talking about the whole Jada Pinkett and Will Smith thing. And I can, I really want to root for the guy. I really do, And she came up with a new book called Worthy.
Right.
And in it, comes out with all, this signing her long lost love was Tupac and all this stuff. And I mean, the guy just gets getting kicked in the face.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated. And, when you use words like, entanglement and all kinds of stuff, I mind you, when being a comedian and after, he did the slap with Chris Rock in front of everybody, I kind of got turned off by Will Smith. And I just kind of he just kind of it rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, Chris Rock was doing his gig,
right?
He was.
Well, you're a comedian.
It's like he was doing what I would have probably done, and I would have said the same thing. Well, he got the look, and that was it. He was laughing at first, of course, and then he took off. Well, now it's it's coming out that they were separated for 7 years and all kinds of stuff. you know, by that time, this guy, and then he's over this guy. I want to root for him. You know, I mean, it's like, dude. I mean, here it is, like, you know, just like split already, take off, and he's just kind of like, oh, she's so strong. She's so strong to let all her feelings out like that. I'm like, dude, you know, come on.
In a book?
Yeah. And he's like, he's just praising her out to no end. It's like, dude, you're getting slapped in the face again, and you're getting slapped. Well, you want to go, you kind of want to slap him and knock some sense in him, but you know, I mean, what are you gonna do?
They've been a very polarizing couple or family for a while,
long time.
Yeah. In your time ever performing live comedy, not that you've ever been slapped live in the face, but have you ever had a heckler or something on stage happen that was just so out of left field?
You get hecklers. The majority of them are either, you know, they're so past drunk it's not even funny, and they just don't have no clue what they're saying. You just adapt to it. You just make fun of them and kind of move on, and if they don't, you just keep making fun of them. By the fourth time, it's like, again, it's annoying, and the crowd's just kind of like. But what I notice now on social media is that the comedians are now recording their sets, but they're recording the ad libs, they're recording the hecklers.
Yes.
And they're, you know, some of them are making a profit out of it. You know, they're really selling out because of the reaction to it, which is a brilliant idea and a smart thing to catch it on film. And now, you know, and have it processed into bills. So it's kind of like it's a different time than when I was, you know, I'm old school, you know, hey, it's like you work on the craft and you want your artwork out there, not so much just the ad lib. The ad lib is just a bonus. Yeah. But, you know, it's like you now it's after a while, it's like when I'm performing and there's a heckler in the crowd, you know, it's like, okay, I'll mess with them, and I'll keep on messing. But if they got something to add to it, that's fine. But if they're just being a jerk, then forget it. I'll just move on.
You ever had somebody thrown out?
No.
Okay.
No, I never had anybody. I mean, I don't think it ever gotten that point where I wanted someone to. I remember to get irritated one time to the point go, hey, you know what this club could use? I don't know, security.
Yeah, for sure.
They could use security.
That sucks.
Yeah, because people are paying good money to hear a set, and here you are, and you're messing it up for everybody else. Yeah. And then, and if you could play off of them and make people laugh during that time, that's fine, that's cool, and you can play off and make it happen, but that's not what they paid their money for. Right. You know, so it's kind of like.
Can I address Will Smith personally for a moment?
Go right ahead.
Which camera is it?
Camera 3, Mike. Camera 3.
Hello. Hi, William. Hey, Billy. I challenge you, Will. I'd like you to go back today when you get some time, pull up old school VHS tapes if you have to, although you can probably download them these days on YouTube. I want you to go watch old clips of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Do you remember that man? Do you remember that badass, hip, cool man's man that gave no F's and damn sure didn't let no pizza run his scene? Do you remember that man? We need to rechannel that guy. I loved Will Smith.
Or we need Uncle Phil back to, you know, kind
of. What Gen Xer didn't love Will Smith?
He was pretty cool.
Loved the dude. Even put up with his mediocre rap because I liked him so much. I thought he was cool.
You didn't like Summertime? And
it was rap for white people.
Parents just don't understand.
That's
Welcome
fine.
to Miami. No,
that was Bienvenido a Miami.
Yeah.
That was fun. I love Will Smith. I liked all of his movies. He was just this badass, ripped, tall,
Bad Boys,
good-looking dude. What happened?
He played Muhammad Ali in a
Muhammad
movie, right?
Ali.
I mean,
you've ruined your life over some little bunk-ass ball biatch. What are we doing here, man? This is on him. And by the way, I don't feel sorry for the man. He's got $300 million in his checking account.
And an Oscar.
Man, what are you doing here?
$300 million.
I've seen signs that Will Smith was going nuts for the last 10 years or so.
Oh, yeah.
Just things he says, things that she said. That's cool. Y'all are swingers, whatever. It's Hollywood. Hey, man, to each their own. Okay. You don't care who's dipping in nobody's ink. It's all good in the hood. Just own that stuff. But they get all this he's getting all this depth, and he's doing talk shows with her while she's talking about dudes she's doing on the side in front of you. Get your ass out of here, man. I love Will Smith. He has lost his ever-loving mind.
With the son's friend.
Yeah.
With the son's friend.
Buddy.
It can't get any worse.
That dude's probably done things with your son, too, with other people.
My gosh.
Will Smith is insane. he's one of these
Poor guy.
guys, so rich, so famous, so huge, and so out of touch, and just has wound up on Crazyville, like a lot of celebrities do. It's just disappointing because he would be a guy that I would have told you 20 years would not have done that.
Right.
But once again, we don't know these people. They're just dudes at the end of the day, and that man has lost his mind. He needs to rechannel the old school Will, tell her to get to stepping, and go out and live, be single for 5-6 years, and go be Will Smith again and drop this whatever the hell that is.
Can he come back from this, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's.
I think he can.
Well, look,
I just think he's
Robert
nuts.
Downey Jr. did, and if he can, I think pretty much anybody else can.
But he didn't have no
Robert
gal.
Downey Jr. was like
him.
criminal stuff,
That
right?
was like drugs. I was
drugs
like,
He has a disease. Will Smith's just a dumbass. Or maybe he is. Maybe it's some sort of other mental disorder. Because I don't know
You
how
never
you
know.
figure.
I mean, you never know.
How does one woman
with
run your scene like
son's
that?
friend, and then you got. Can you imagine Thanksgiving? Can you imagine like, hey, Mr. Smith, you mind passing the rolls? Sweetie, you mind telling
It's
your
to
husband
the point
pass
where
the
you're
rolls?
laughing at Chris Rock, then you look at her and she gives you a look like, I don't like this joke. So you slap this man on national television at the Oscars?
Yeah.
What a dumb. That's on him. That's purely on him. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what she's got on him.
He's got some kind of
But
voodoo mono
but you
on
know
him,
what?
that's for sure.
Just let her out. Let us all. We already think you're crazy anyway. You've already made a fool of yourself to this world. Let her say what she's going to say and get the hell away
She
from her.
got
and
some
go
kind of
heal.
weird hex on it.
I don't know. You
like
never
two
know.
dead chickens.
He needs to call Tony Robbins or somebody, get his ass out of the ditch. No, for real, he is mentally unstable.
Seriously,
man.
I don't think
it's
he can.
unfortunate.
You asked me, do I think he come out of it? I don't think so.
You'll have to read the book now.
You have to read the book
That's
now.
the thing.
Read nothing.
That's the thing. That's how you get hooked.
Oh my God.
Get the book.
That whole scene is an ass whip.
Yeah.
It just is.
Who do you want to punch? That's
Who do you wanna-
exactly who it
that's
is.
Today,
right there.
I would love to punch Will Smith. Punch some sense into him. He's an
Get
idiot.
a spine, my friend.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the
take
one
it
thing
off.
you mentioned was Will Smith's fortune. So that
300
would allow
million.
him to indulge in some of the scenery that we have here
Yeah,
today.
come become a member of Prestige Motorsports,
Yeah, right.
Will. Get your dude back, bro.
Yeah. And this is an unbelievable setting, obviously, and I want to thank publicly Ben Brunson and his team who have treated us like rock stars. I don't know what we did to
Absolutely.
deserve that, but you too, you don't have to be a podcast host to come over here and just experience. These are not our cars, to be clear. Just wanted to clear that up.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're 4 more sponsors away
Right,
from a midlife crisis of car purchase.
But they've put together just an unbelievable venue here. They're having a Halloween party Thursday night at 8 o'clock, which the public is invited to if you'd like to do that. And they've got, obviously, the cars. They've got the drinks. They've got a lounge upstairs, a Formula One, very expensive, I'm told, simulator. And many other toys and just cool. I call it eye candy. Like it's sensory overload here.
The one that struck me already, have you boys seen the movie Ford versus Ferrari?
Yes.
This
The
is
Shelby.
This is Mr. Shelby's
Right there.
car right back here. This
I saw that
Cobra.
movie yesterday at lunchtime.
No, are you serious?
I absolutely did.
I'm trying to cuss less on this show.
No, I know.
That's why I stopped
And
myself.
I appreciate it.
No
man.
S.
I know. No S.
Quit being a pizza, Will Smith.
Yeah, there you go.
There's Cobra back here. That's the first.
That's awesome.
That's the first thing that caught
If
my
you
eye.
saw the movie Gone in 60 Seconds, Eleanor, that is it right there.
Yeah, man. That's this is a rad place.
So safe to say we've never owned any cars like this, but
No.
do you have your memories of your first car? I mean, we've been driving for 30
Yes.
plus years now. I mean, anything that sticks out, just
Funny
talking about
enough,
cars.
So I had a car that looks like that red Ferrari right there.
Okay.
It was not a red Ferrari, but I pretended it was.
It was red.
Yeah, my first car in high school was and I was so lucky. My grandma, I don't know where she found it, probably got it hot or something because that woman came up with enough money to afford it. It wasn't new; it was a couple years old. She got shipped in from Sinaloa or something. But that's okay. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's mine. I couldn't believe it.
Okay.
Your grandma's part of Narcos.
Well,
That's in the next half hour.
few
We'll go into that.
more episodes.
We'll
It'll
go
all
into
start
that.
to make
Okay.
sense, man.
Wow.
Dude, so I had a 1987 Honda Prelude in 1992. It was 5 years old, used
Okay.
car. It was beautiful red. It had a similar body to the Ferrari. It wasn't quite the Ferrari, but I thought it was for a 17-year-old Taylor in high school. Cocky as hell. Oh, my gosh. That didn't do anything for my idiocy. A bright red 87 Honda Prelude. If you guys remember the old Prelude, they were very popular in the late 80s and early 90s with everybody. And that was my first car, and I had it for 1 year before something disastrous happened to it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Well, I wrecked it. first of all. Well, my girlfriend wrecked it. She was driving, and I let her drive. I was in the passenger side, and she ran a stop sign and got us hit.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, and I had to lie to my grandmother and tell her it was me driving because I've got massive more trouble had it been not, she found out I let somebody else drive it. And then about 6 months later, I'm in that. We get it fixed. Thank God it wasn't total, but we get the thing fixed. And I'll never forget. I got all my boys in the car with me, driving around like an idiot, listening to Tupac, who was apparently banging Jada Smith or whatever her name is.
At the time.
Yeah. So we thinking we're gangsters in the suburbs of Fort Worth. In my Prelude.
All right.
And like my idiot buddy Chris Hoover. I'm going to say his name.
Call him out.
My buddy Chris was riding passenger, and he starts making like malojo with a guy next to us. I mean, oh, no. What are we doing? Because he thought he was a badass.
No.
Stupid teenagers. These are older dudes, too. These are guys in their 20s. We're just teenagers and whatever. He's like, hey, dude. I'm like, dude, shut up. What are you doing? So we take off, and they get behind the car and start following my Prelude. Oh, now look what you did, dude. What are you doing? So I'm like, this is ridiculous. They cut me off, and I went around them, and they cut me off and went around them, and then they just like started trailing me. I'm in panic mode here. This is pre-cell phones. You couldn't call the popo. I was on my own here, man. So my buddy Chris, the idiot, I'm like, dude, F those guys, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, they're right here. And by the way, I was goofing about the suburbs of Fort Worth in the early 90s. Go look this up.
Okay.
In 1991, Fort Worth was the murder capital of this country. It was. No. We had a bunch of gangsters that got put away in the late 70s, started getting let out in the late 80s. Guys from that Fort Worth area. We had the mean streets of Cowtown. We had a real bad couple of years where it was the gang stuff in the early 90s was awful. Here, too, in this city, too. So these fools are following us, and I'm scared. I'm trying to outrun these guys and catch them at a red light. They run a red light anyway. And so my buddy Chris is like, my sister lives right there. Go to my sister's house. I'm in panic mode, so we speed to my sister's house. These guys will not stay off our butt. So we pull up to the sister's house. I jump out of the car. We go running. Hi. Her name was Kim. Kim, let us in. Bang, 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 bang. And they get out of. I looked up, and they get out of the car, and I'm like, oh, my God, Kim. Kim's like, what did you do now, Chris? Because she know her brother was an idiot. Yeah. One of these kids that I should not have been hanging out with.
Chris Hoover.
Yeah, Chris Hoover. Damn it, Chris Hoover. And so we stay there, and we hide in the apartment, and then lo and behold, we everything got quiet for a while. My car was probably 50 yards away from the house because there was an apartment complex.
Oh gosh!
Finally, we wait about an hour. We walk out. I don't see those kids' cars that were following us. We walk over there. They had taken bricks and thrown bricks through the front windshield of my beautiful Honda Prelude and both side windows of the Honda Prelude.
Oh man!
And I just looked at Chris Hoover, and he's like, "I'm sorry." Thanks, bro. So I had to drive home and face the music, at 17 in this beautiful car that I've already wrecked once this year. Now this happens to it, and face that music at home.
Jeez.
And you can imagine, I'm driving in the car. The windshield's half busted. There's like residue. It's caving in as I take a left turn.
Glass in the car.
Everywhere. I sat in glass. It got in my skin. And I had to go in and just face the music, man. And that was my first car. And I don't think I've had a nicer car since. And that son of a bitch, sorry, I cussed again. Chris Hoover got that car destroyed. And
put a quarter in the jar.
Lo and behold, I lost that car. My grandma was PO'd, and that was that, man. And my car she sold it. She sold my car. And that was hard-ass discipline, but looking back on that, it taught me a lesson. Don't run around with idiots. Or people that listen to Tupac in the 90s.
Okay, well. Lesson learned.
I'm sorry, but that was my first car.
You turned out okay.
It was a bad story, but it was a beautiful car while I had it.
It was a life lesson,
and I'll never forget it. Yeah, it turned into a life lesson by what not to do by being a dummy. Anyway.
Oh, goodness. Okay, do you have any?
What'd you do?
I don't think I can top that, but
I actually had
make up something while he's talking.
1986 Pontiac T1000. Do you know what that is?
No.
That is a replica of the Chevette.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay.
We can make that work.
But it was exactly the same model. I mean, the same prototype, but it was different. It was a different, what do you call it?
Model?
It wasn't a Chevy. It was a Pontiac. So I had this is my first car I got. My aunt sold it to us, and it was automatic. It was great until One day I didn't have air condition. Rolled the windows down, and the inner lining would come down, and this thing, my face had to move it around, and finally my friend just ripped it all out. Yeah,
Did the stuff fall out and get on you?
So he ripped that off, and they're writing, Mehmet was here and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, you can write it.
You can write on there. This car sucks. All kinds of stuff like that. And in my it was cold one morning, and I went to put the heater on, and the dang thing broke. So I had to put like a butter knife in there to move it. And so I was moving it, and that's how I got I had a butter knife in there, people writing stuff up here, and it wasn't until my senior year that I was going to go pick up my friends and take them to school. And all of a sudden, I'm reversing, and the whole motor falls, boom.
On the ground?
On the ground. I'm like,
burned a hole through the car.
Wow.
Right through the ground,
Dang,
and I'm like,
dude.
wow, this is my first car.
Like Cheddar Bob on 8 Mile.
Yes, exactly right.
Golly.
Exactly right. So,
oh, gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything to top that. I mean, I grew up
Ernie had a privileged life on a ranch.
Yeah, exactly. No, Little Victoria, Texas. I got it was a Buick. I don't remember what year it was, but it was a Buick, and it was a white body with a blue, like, faux leather top on it. And then looking back on it, it had to have been mechanically challenged because I could not get it up over like 40, 50
What kind
miles
of
an
car
hour.
was it?
It was a Buick. I don't
Okay.
Regal something. I don't
Buick
remember.
POS.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe that was the model. And now in Victoria, granted, there were no highways. The main drag, whatever you call it, you 45 miles an hour. So there was no need to go 70. But my friends nicknamed it the Great White because it looked like a slow shark lurking crossing the intersection with the blue fin or the top, and it was so slow.
Great White.
A very
So they
old
called it
shark.
Yeah.
Great White. But at any rate, we eventually upgraded, and I got they handed me down the you remember the Ford Aerostar van?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Wow.
I had a Ford Aerostar van.
Did you have any girlfriends ever?
Eventually.
No.
It was a late bloomer. I was a late bloomer. But it's not like I had a choice. I mean, this is what was given to me. But
I hear you.
No, I know. I'm just
But it
goofing.
became the party wagon because you could fit.
You
could fit
yeah.
eight and a third row. It had a third row.
And you're the guy that has wheels.
And I had the wheels.
Yeah, there it is.
So
So you were cool. I take it
But
back.
yes, contrary to popular belief.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
at any rate, we have a number of people on Facebook watching us, so thank you first of all for that. But if you have any first car stories or memories or disasters that you want to share, we are monitoring the comments here on Facebook right now, and I know we're also streaming on YouTube and various multiple platforms, if you will.
Yes,
So-
we're trying to, whatever one gives us the most.
Chance
peeps,
Madera
we'll
says
claim
Mike's
that,
Prelude probably smelled like Drakkar and Whataburger.
Well, close. Whataburger and cool water.
Cool water. There you go.
And when I wore my boots, Stetson.
That's
I wore Stetson when I had boots, sneakers, cool water.
Did you have cologne in high school?
I had, I did. Was it red something? It was in a red bottle.
Polo?
Again, no.
I had the green bottle Polo.
I don't remember. My mother sold Avon back then, or Mary Kay, or whatever it was. So I would get like little samples or
Yep.
whatever it was, and then
yeah.
the rare occasion when I had a date or a social engagement, it came in those little tubes, and you get a little tiny drop, and you know
High karate.
whatever it was called. So
Imagine him pulling up in front of your daughter's house and
In a Great
his
White?
the horn. I'm sure the horn was
right.
ridiculous.
Ernie used to drive around Sonic. Matt Rojas says that is actually true. That is true because when we got a Sonic in Victoria in the 90s, that was a big deal, and there was
Our
a lot.
hangout was Taco Cabana.
Yeah.
After high school games, we'd go to the Taco Cabana on Freg's right there because I went
Okay.
to Jeff.
You went to Jefferson.
And then we'd go hang out over there, and that was pretty cool.
So speaking of high school, my 30-year reunion is coming up next year. So I don't know if you
Wow.
guys.
You excited?
You know what? I guess I am. I because we were a small class. I went to a small private school. There was 104 of us, and I have
Is Tammy from Victoria too?
Tammy's from Victoria. She went to the 5A, much larger public school there. We graduated the same year.
Okay.
So she'll have her reunion next
Did
year.
y'all
as well.
meet there, or did y'all meet
We
here?
met in Victoria when we were coming home from college in
Okay.
95. She went to Austin. I was at A&M, and we came back for the summer.
That's
rest
right.
is history.
You're an Aggie.
I went to A&M for 2 years, yes, and then I did not finish there.
Oh, where'd you finish?
So after my second year at A&M, I came home to work at the TV station in Victoria, doing Chiron or graphics, on the weekends for a couple of bucks. And 2 weeks before my junior year at A&M started, the news director offered me a sports anchoring job.
I've heard this show on my show, on the other show.
So I said yes, and then I went immediately to my parents and said, guess what? I'm dropping out of A&M, and I'm moving back home.
Okay.
And needless to say, that was an interesting conversation. Speaking of facing the music and everything, but
Mijo screwed it up.
It worked out ultimately, and I finished. And I was going to drop out. I was not. I don't know college. Who needs college? I got
big time.
I'm making $13,000 a year, and I'm on the air.
Yeah.
No, my mother, God bless her, my late mother was a career educator, and she said, "Mijo, I'm all in on the TV thing, but this dropping out of school is not going to happen." And of course, I wasn't going to do that to my mother or my dad. And so we have a University of Houston branch there in Victoria, and so I finished. I did classes in the morning.
Yep.
And went to the TV station at 3 o'clock and did the evening sports.
Nice.
In Victoria, Texas, for a year and a half until I graduated.
You're like me. You have no other skills but this. We have to make this work. This is all we've ever done.
Because Lord knows I've applied for how many dozens of jobs in San Antonio, and I'm 0 for
how many
all of
ever.
them.
Well, we're going to make you a star on this.
So,
they're going to come.
I hope so.
They're going to come to you.
No, wouldn't that be nice?
You'll have them lining up.
That's
Tell them all
right.
no because you're too busy hanging out in car clubs.
Yeah, exactly. I cannot be bothered right now.
So we need you to be funny every week, man.
That's absolutely
to
right.
save Ernie's career.
That's right.
Yeah. So, at any rate, well, I'm on a little bit of a baseball hangover because the Astros laid an egg last night, and I grew up 90 minutes from Houston, so I grew up going to the Astrodome and I had so much higher expectations for last night compared to what actually happened.
Well, the good part is there's a Texas team in the World Series, and I believe it's the Rangers' first time in the World Series.
No, they're 2011.
Third?
And 10.
Well, they were 1 out away in 2011. I'm
winning it all.
From winning it all in St. Louis.
Wow.
So are you an Astros fan?
I would probably say yes.
Well, you're a Texas fan.
You just opened the door to be a Ranger fan at least for a week.
For a minute. I will support the Texas team.
Wait a minute.
I'm catching hell for that.
No, I'm going to be rooting for the Rangers, whoever they play.
Well, their third baseman is from San Antonio, Josh Young.
Yeah.
Has a local connection. So if you were going to root for that, you still have the Phillies and the Diamondbacks in the National League.
I still root Texas teams anyway.
Let me so first of all, I'll preface this part. So you're not allowed to root for anybody but the Spurs, right? It doesn't matter where you're from. If you claim to be a Spurs fan, I like the Rockets too.
We talked about this the other day. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm catching hell. Yeah, basketball's that's familia. What are the Spurs? Right. You can't rep nobody else.
Pura vida, and all that.
Yeah,
Pura vida.
So, but look, man, I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. I know I say that every week. And I love San Antonio. I'm a San Antonian. Half my kids were born here. At least 2 of them were, and we're San Antonio.
Right.
I'm dating she could be Miss San Antonio, Miss Congeniality in this city.
She'd probably win.
And so I'm San Antonian, but I grew up in the Metro Sex, as I call it.
Okay.
I grew up a Rangers fan, right? But I moved here in 2007, and you just can't live in this part of Texas for that long. We had Astros games here and there over on the old radio station. I've met guys that work for the team, been to a bunch of Astros games, but I've never lost my contact with the Rangers. Reed Ryan's a guy I know. Reed runs minor league clubs all over the state, running our club now here in San Antonio. Blah blah blah. I am legitimately both a fan of the Astros and the Rangers. I grew up at the foot of my grandmother's chair. Whenever I would see my grandma in the 80s, my dad's mom, that woman watched every damn Ranger game from every day that they played in the 80s, whether they were horrible, good, every pitch, it's how we bonded, me and my grandma, because she would babysit me. I'm watching the Rangers. Then we'd watch wrestling, watch the Von Erichs late at night.
Nice.
But we'd watch the Ranger game,
and
then the
see
wrestling
your
came on
grandmother
late.
watching the baseball game and then looking out the door for your prelude.
Well, that was pre-prelude.
Pre-prelude?
Yeah.
Pre-prelude. But anyway, the point being, I can only imagine, how emotional my grandmother would be if the Rangers would have won the World Series, right? So this is my family's team.
Right.
I got a text thread last night. My father, my cousins, my brothers on it. They're going 8 blank for the Rangers, but I'm an Astros fan, and so I tried to. So it's tough because I've caught in crap. Oh, really? You going to get on me? My dead grandma was a Rangers fan. But you going to get on me because I was rooting? Come on.
Can't do that.
I can jump on and off that damn bandwagon, whether it's the Astros, the Rangers, all I want. If San Antonio gets a baseball team, I'll disown both of them and only support San Antonio. But I grew up a Rangers fan. It's where I'm from, man.
So, and your football team is?
The Cowboys.
And the owner is?
An Arkansas named Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Who? If we only had Jerry Jones on this podcast right now.
Here we go.
I'm up to my ass in alligators.
There it is.
You know, you just leave my ass alone. We had a bye. We won this week,
They
Cleto.
did not lose. The Cowboys did not lose.
Aren't you
Neither
that,
did the Texans.
that's that damn stand-up comedian down there in San Antonio. They got a freeway after his grandpa. That family's gone. It's all been downhill since, ain't it, Cleto? You leave me alone.
We won. The Cowboys did not lose.
That
this
is
week.
true.
Neither did the Texans.
Guaranteed.
And I love it. So I'm getting crap from people in this city. Screw you. You can't jump on and off the bandwagon. Fool, you root for Dallas every Sunday. I don't want to hear about
That's right.
allegiances.
That's right.
Puerto San Antonio, Spurs, Astros, Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Get out of here. We're allowed to vote. Especially on a pro level. If you're an Aggie and you have the ring, which
Right.
you clearly don't.
I do not have the ring.
You are an Aggie por vida. You know, that's family.
That's
These
right.
pro teams, that ain't
If
family.
you got a receipt on the first 2 semesters, you are an
I
Aggie,
may,
my
but
friend.
Look, I think you should be able to root for whatever pro team. LG's an Eagles fan for some reason.
Yeah.
Who knows? Whatever. You know, I got one of my best buddies is
LG just cut the camera on you right now.
49ers fan.
I'm a UTSA football fan.
Well, that's
And, I mean,
poodle. That's
that's
family.
poodle.
That's
That's
different.
family,
But you can root for any pro team you want.
Okay.
Right? Because it's pro. Like you said, Jerry's in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback's from Mississippi. There's not. I support Texas teams,
Right.
you know, and especially when it comes to the pro level. Where I went to college, that's family, that's different. Pro level, now okay. If you're a big Lakers fan and you've never been west of El Paso, okay, you're a cheap Lakers fan. Get out of here. But I don't usually tell people who to root for.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I just try to go to one of their games.
Right.
But you can be like, there's nothing more. I get so beaten down like walking into a bar here in town during the Cowboys game and some fool's in there in his Patrick Mahomes jersey. And it's like, get out of here, fool! You never even been out of the state. I mean, come on, man. You had to Uber here because you ain't got no car. Chiefs, Chiefs, Cowboys suck. There's people that just want to be the antagonist in this life.
Just stir it up.
They need
Mix it up.
something. They need a reason to get up and get attention. So those people I can't stand. But outside of the idiot fan, you could root for whoever you want.
I think I'm right there with you,
if
Mike.
they're from this state. This was a hard week for me because I like both clubs.
Yep.
I'm gut-wrenched for people that I know in Houston, but I'm so euphoric for my father and my brother. You know, me and Nina are talking about going up to watching a game at my dad's house this week in Fort Worth just so I could watch the World Series with my father, watching the Rangers in the World Series.
Yep.
I mean, come on, man. And if
Got
you
it.
don't hate on me,
Hate on me.
hate on me all you want.
No.
Haters
going to
hate.
I believe Taylor Swift, the great philosopher Taylor Swift, once said.
Oh, you talk about a fair weather Chiefs fan. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We gotta reset here because it's the bottom of the hour, and
My bad.
to give you a chance to
Bottom
wet
of
the
the
whistle
ninth.
there.
Take a drink
Bottom
of
of the
water.
ninth.
That's
But
fine.
this is the 3 Cents podcast presented by Integrity Roofing and Siding, and we are today inside the spacious, luxurious, fabulous Prestige Motorsports near the airport on a Plymouth Drive. Ben Brunson and his team, again, have been amazing. They've got, the product placement. They've treated us like
Kings.
royalty for some reason today, and we're thrilled to be doing the show here.
Huge thanks.
Our viewers on Facebook are very astute. John Dean Flores says, congratulations to the guys
Thank you
for
John.
not wearing shorts today. No menudo showing today.
No Menuda hanging out. I know.
So I just wanted to pass that along. So
Yeah.
Who said that, John?
John Dean Flores.
John D.
Oh, we
Flores.
got to act right now
That
because
was
we don't want to lose our identity. But when
Hey,
we have a new partner,
that's right.
We do.
and
Look here, the floors look better than my legs right now in here.
I mean, if you're going to be by
I'ma tell
a
you.
$300,000-$400,000 car.
And a prelude.
for the
I mean,
record,
dress
you
up.
wore shorts, not me, dude.
we both wore shorts.
Did I wear shorts?
did
too?
wear
Yeah,
shorts.
Oh damn.
That was the day he wore pants.
I wore
and you
pants
were
and you wore shorts.
Oh, then we flipped it the other
We
way.
flipped
We
it,
got to
yeah.
start
Yeah.
calling each other before these stupid shows, man.
I don't know, but I don't care what he says. I'm still going to wear shorts. It's just not today.
You do you.
This is a special
Oh, you
occasion.
just could own it. Just put it out, baby. Just own it. We just own it. I mean, it's fine. It's got your name on the show. He's the viewer. He's here for you. You ain't here for him. Pull it
I
out.
can't even unsee
That's the
that.
second time he's pulled up his shirt on this show.
I didn't show nipple today.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
I'm just
my
look. I'm geek.
gosh.
We have a partner. It's great. We're in a kick-ass
Yes.
place. Honestly, this is a place that I would totally love to be a member at.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I'm not saying that because I want to kiss their butt. This is a cool
It's
place.
nice, yeah.
Right.
To hang out and smoke a cigar
I'll
and
park
watch
my
a
Honda
Formula One
Accord in
race.
here.
Put your Honda Accord right there.
Yeah, that's right. I'll put it right
And,
there.
Your
Yeah.
Honda Accord. That Prelude will look badass in here next to that Ferrari.
Put my
Shoot.
Pontiac T1000 on this bad boy.
Dude, I knew we were coming here today.
Right.
Not the non sequitur on you
Nope,
too long.
no,
I knew
go right ahead.
I knew we were coming here today, so I read about the place, and because I like racing. I spent a lot of time. I've covered a lot of racing in my previous career, you know, and stuff. So I dig cars. I like race cars. I like the Formula One circuit, and I could see myself sitting up here in this lounge watching, you know, Max Verstappen win yet another race. You know, or
Niki Lauda.
reading out here, hanging out. This is a really cool.
Have you ever
scene.
been in one of those cars?
No.
I've been in an Indy car.
Yeah,
not
no.
a Formula race. Yeah, they're similar.
Yeah.
I've been in a
I've been in
couple.
an Indy car and I've been in a NASCAR before too. And
Okay,
it's
cool.
surreal. If you, when I was in
I've
Phoenix,
gone-
you go on the
I've
oval
done-
and
I've done it.
everything.
Yeah.
And
in Texas Motor Speedway.
and I thought I was going like 160 miles an hour, and they clocked me like at 81.
oh, you drove it.
I drove it. I
Oh,
drove.
that's
I drove
awesome.
the NASCAR.
That's
I
awesome.
rode as a passenger in the F1 car or the Indy car.
Yeah.
And you know when they're turning those what are the hairpin turns, or what do you call them? When
banks.
they're the banking, and it's just
They're
it's
sideways.
crazy.
Do you remember the driver you
I
had?
don't remember this 20 years ago.
Was it a pro?
Oh yeah, no,
Okay.
it was legit. I mean, we were there at the Phoenix Motor Speedway and the whole 9 yards. I mean,
No, this is-
Kyle Petty had, or not his dad. Richard Petty had his driving school out there, and
Okay, cool.
and took us all out there with the cars and everything.
That's
so.
really cool. So no, back when I was a kid, when I was at ESPN in the Metro Sex, we had to have somebody cover NASCAR, and nobody in our building wanted to do it. I was just this hungry kid. I just wanted reps. I wanted experience. Sure, I'll cover the racing. I didn't know squat about NASCAR at the time. It was Winston Cup in those days.
Yeah, sure.
Remember that? Yeah. So I volunteered. Cool. You spend all weekend hanging out literally spending the night at the track. Well,
You talk about a fun time.
the Saturday night, overnight.
do that while I'm drinking.
You had the Saturday before the Sunday race in the infield. It's redneck debauchery, dude. It's unbelievable.
Oh boy.
Oh,
They
I
don't
bet.
mind picking their shirt up there neither. so here I am, this wide-eyed 28-year-old idiot, and I'm covering NASCAR, but I fell in
You want
love
some
with
beans?
racing. I loved it. You know,
That's
I didn't
amazing.
think I would. Oh, they're going to go in a circle a bunch of times. No, you hear those, and then you put 20 of them out there.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. But then they're like, Mike, you did such a good job covering NASCAR. Go cover the Indy Series. Okay, fine. So you guys know who Patrick Dempsey is.
The actor, yes.
Yeah, McDreamy.
McDreamy, sure.
He was
sure.
McDreamy for a while on Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
Right.
So that guy is a race
Big
car driver.
racing guy.
And
Is he
so-
really?
Big
yeah,
time.
Big time.
Did not know
That's what
that.
he does.
Big time.
He does that mostly now.
Wow.
He's semi-retired from acting. This is mid-'90s. The Grey's Anatomy had just taken off. It was massive. Patrick Dempsey, I think he was People Magazine's sexiest man alive. And so they sent me to cover the Indy League, and we were the official station of the whatever IRL 500. And my job was to babysit Patrick Dempsey all day.
What?
Because I let him. We walked around as he did his little media hits and glad handed the season ticket holders and stuff. And it was really cool to do that and hang out that day. And then I got to ride around the track.
Was he cool?
Patrick Dempsey, super cool. Just a real
Good.
cool dude.
Good
And
to
I
know.
never forget, one point we had like a little break, and we're just chilling. Me and his handler. We're sitting at a little table in a corner somewhere away from everything, and I'm like, dude. He's like, I look at it, I just go, dude. He's just like, and I'll never forget. I'm like, you're the one that decided to go on the TV. I'm like, I know. It was cool. I had like this bro moment with him. He was a good dude, but I got to go around the track that day too.
Yes.
This is early in the day before everybody's starting to show up now. It was a night race, and there were one of the drivers at the time, Dan Weldon, was one of the best IndyCar drivers on the circuit at the time. An English bloke. I'm sure
Yes.
Mr. Brunton knows about Dan Weldon. Dan was one of the up-and-coming IndyCar drivers in the world, and he was coming into his own, and I got to ride around the track that day because they have two-seaters. The IndyCars are one seat, but they have two-seaters for rides.
Right. Yep.
And I got the great Dan Wilden took me around 4 times around Texas Motor Speedway.
Wow.
We were going 220.
Yeah, I bet you were.
190 on the banks.
That's crazy.
It was like being shot out of a cannon, and it's just, and like I'll never forget going. No, it was good. Nah, man, I had to show out, bro. I was scared on the inside.
Your shirt was up by just because of the wind.
Dude, it was cool. So they took me into the truck. They put the fire suit on. They're making me sign waivers,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey man, have you ever crashed? Oh no, mate, no one's ever crashed. Well, why am I signing a sheet, bro? Why am I putting on the fire suit? Hey, you'll be fine. I haven't wrecked in 2 weeks or something like that.
Because if you did this in a normal car, you would flip the car easily.
No question.
That was my fear the whole time.
Yeah, and I fell in love with IndyCar driver. NASCAR, it's fine, cool. I didn't hate. This is when NASCAR was really big,
right?
But I love Indy, and then I just kind of morphed into Formula One, and so anyway, and this story has a bad ending too, unfortunately. My story is Dan Wilden was killed about 6 or 7 years later in a race.
Yeah.
His car flipped up and he hit a pole.
Oh gosh.
A light pole. They've since they've reconfigured how they do that so that can't happen. This guy I rode with got killed. I don't want to hear nothing about the Taylor curse. This is 6 years ago. And I also got to ride around with Michael Andretti.
Yeah.
That day too.
Oh, wow.
4 laps with Michael Andretti, 4 laps with Dan Wilden, and that was it. I was a race fan ever since to this day. So to be here, I got my machismo.
No, this is
shoot.
They're not going to let you in any.
You earned your stripes.
Yeah, I've been sitting like this all day.
You earned your stripes,
dude. Yeah, man. It was cool. It was anyway. I got to meet Gene Simmons that day too. So anyway.
Oh my gosh, that was quite a day. I've said that NASCAR or Formula One racing, that those kinds of things are similar to me, like NHL hockey or professional hockey. It's okay on TV to see, but to go in person, you have to experience, like you said, the sounds.
It's incredible.
And same thing with when I was in Phoenix. Wayne Gretzky was coaching the Coyotes. And I was like, but you go to the game and you hear the slapping of the sticks and the puck and the ice and the skates and the.
Yeah, it's great.
I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would than typically watching it on television.
What struck me the first time I saw IndyCar, like you can follow them, they'll hype.
Yes.
The high pitch, but you cannot see them when they pass you. It's so fast.
So fast.
It's.
Yeah,
and they're gone. Whoa, golly! So you have to train your eyes like you're watching the horizon because you can't see it here, but you got to follow. Yeah. I got pit passes, the whole bit, hook, line, sinker, and those were cooler people to hang out with. That NASCAR scene. That was more wine and cheesy covering the Indy League because half those people from Europe. Right. That NASCAR scene, they weren't from Europe.
No, they weren't.
Who was that?
Europe, Alabama.
The big, what's his name? The guy from that was part of Wham. He was into race car driving.
George Michael?
No, the other one.
Andrew Ridgely?
Andrew Ridgely was into.
I did
right
not.
After
NASCAR, you said?
Not
or,
NASCAR,
or
the other
Formula
one.
Or IndyCar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Patrick Dempsey's a stud, dude.
He
He does the 24-hour Le Mans.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, man. He races Porsche on lower circuits, and they're different kind of cars, obviously. Yeah, he's a stud. He's an owner.
I told you I was watching Ford versus Ferrari, and I couldn't imagine driving 24 hours.
Man.
I think it's 8 hours or 4 hours. They drive each. I think it's
something
4 hours.
Like that.
I've
forgotten the
4 hours.
rules, but yeah, I loved that movie.
Geez.
That was great. Dallas's own Mr. Shelby.
Mr. Shelby
designed that car right here behind me.
Have you seen his documentary? That's really good.
I have not.
It's really
I've seen
good.
the movie. I've not seen. I know a little bit about it.
The documentary is really good. He lived a long time.
Yeah, he was a stud.
Yeah, he lived a long time.
So a viewer here, Eric Velasquez, is asking, what's the fastest you all have ever personally driven?
Oh, myself? Oh, gosh.
10 minutes ago, I was 95 getting over here. 95.
On 410?
Oh, no, 410 on 21.
I don't have a good story on this one. About 90, and I feel like an idiot. It was on the toll road here going past Pflugerville.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 85.
Okay.
I had to go 90 because it would have ran me off the road.
Well, it's
I don't
80,
like to go fast.
What is
I'm an
it,
old
80
man driver.
on I-10? Is it 80 going out?
Oh, to El Paso on I-10?
To El Paso?
Yeah, and then on the
Oh, yeah. And they go 90.
Yeah.
No matter what the speed limit is, they're going to go 10 miles over.
10.
Right.
Yeah, so I've gone 90 on that stupid toll road, and I don't like
95 on I-10.
And I've never had a car that could do that for very long without just falling apart and the tires blow.
Bolts just popping out like Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it'd be bad. I've been driven fast. Buddies have driven fast, and I get pissed off.
Yeah.
Because I I had a buddy get killed in high school in a car wreck. He's on 140 miles an hour on the turnpike and flipped off and got killed.
Gosh.
So I've never been a wild driver.
Yeah,
I've done a lot of dumb things in my life. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to cars, safety first. Safety first.
You ever had an Uber driver drive fast with you in it?
No, I'll tell him. I'll tell him off.
No, I don't
I'll tell
think I
him
have.
off.
Because I'm always stuck in traffic. So they can't go. But my oldest daughter just started driving about 5-6 weeks ago, so I am knee deep in that experience right now.
Yeah.
First time daughter driving.
Scary.
And it's convenient and it's great, but it's one of the scary.
Didn't I see you I saw you in the back seat. I'm assuming your wife was in the front seat?
No, my other daughter called shotgun and jumped in the front seat.
No, I can't believe you did that.
I did.
Wow.
I did. I didn't want to stir the pot because my oldest, was getting in the car and driving.
Yeah.
And she didn't. I think she preferred me being in the back seat because when I was in the passenger seat, when we were training or doing the parent hours together over the summer, and Ava, my oldest daughter, would drift or do something, and I would do that. No, or grab the, the bar or whatever, and she gets so mad. I don't want to drive anymore. And I was like, no, that's not how it works. I said, so I realized, okay, she hates when I do that, but it's a natural instinct. And so far, to her credit, she's great, pretty conservative driver. Just kind of stays on the access roads and the back roads.
What I told my oldest when they started driving, I got 2 older kids in their 20s. I tried the reverse psychology. Yeah, I'm like, honey, it's not you I don't trust.
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody around.
Exactly what I told my kids.
Especially in this town. We're probably I've driven in a lot of cities. We're terrible. The amount of
Houston's
terrible drivers.
Above us,
they drive fast. They're dangerous.
Yeah.
Here, no one knows what they're doing, and hey, no one's got any insurance, nothing.
Well,
you got to be careful.
The construction, though.
True.
And that's also a massive part of it.
Lanes change, or exits are closed.
I know.
But the GPS says that, and I'm like, I get anxious driving out of myself.
I love Mayor Nuremberg, Team Ron. I get your emails.
Gotcha.
I love you hard. I'm not blaming you, but I don't know who's in control of the TxDOT scene here. TxDOT have turned into a gang. They have taken this city by hostage. You can't go anywhere in this town without having construction at least block you at least for a little while. You can't go anywhere.
It's
over
the
top.
place.
We need it fixed.
Yep.
Need it fixed.
Well,
sorry,
Mayor Nuremberg is going to term out
it.
soon, so I don't know. I mean, if you want to
No,
run
I'm not running him off. I'm not running for the mayor. No, as soon as they Google me, I'm out.
No, no, I'm just saying because he will be term. I think it's next year. Mayor Ron.
Is his last one?
With term limits, he cannot run anymore. It'll be 8 years, I think. So somebody else will be the mayor of San Antonio.
We need to wrangle TxDOT. They suck. They're hey, how long the project? 2 years, 4 years sounds good to us. Yeah, dude, it's bad. Awful.
No,
especially up by you and I live pretty close to each other.
Yes. Hot mess.
You brought up a. This is a sticking point.
I triggered him.
Right?
I triggered him.
You did. This is a sticking point. Where's my comfort car?
Where is he?
Comfort car.
Pissed me off. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I'm safety first all the way. But I told my kids, guys, everybody sucks. You're a good driver. I worry about everyone else.
That's
so
right.
Don't speed. Always signal. Don't drive drunk. If I find out you drank too much and drove, I'm gonna skin you. I'm just gonna kill you.
That's it.
And I'll just do the prison time. But I'll know that I took your life because you broke my rule. Because I don't want you getting killed. I will kill you. I don't want you getting killed. But anyway, it seems to have so far worked. They're good girls and they decent drivers.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay. Very good.
Anyway, good luck to you. How old is she? 17,
Well,
18?
yeah, no, she's 17. In the pandemic and all that, she got her permit and then the pandemic and everything. And then there was this part of it, I think parents with similar age kids will agree, there's this mentality among a lot of the teenagers that about 2 years ago, there was no urgency to get a license.
I've noticed that. But these kids are weird. I was 14, ready to get a hardship.
No, right.
Kids now?
That was not the case. And then my daughter flipped not too long ago and was like, I want my license now. I want to work. I want a job. I want to make money. I want to do this.
Light came on.
And when the minute she got in the car and realized the independence and I was not in the car anymore to criticize her, now she wants to drive everywhere. We were going to the store the other day. We were going to La Cantera because she was taking her senior pictures and she needed to buy outfits. Can we take 2 cars? Like, no. No, we don't need to take 2 cars. We don't need a second vehicle.
You paying
no.
for my gas and yours?
No,
Yeah.
and so needless to say, we took 1 vehicle, but love her to death. But she wants any excuse to drive. Can I go to Sonic and get a slush?
Well,
just
see,
anything,
now she can run you errands. See,
she can do that.
grab me Whataburger on the way home.
Grab me
and you can
Whataburger.
take the car.
Speaking of getting, driving by yourself, when I was after I had the Pontiac T1000, the motor fell off. My grandfather actually he played a lot of cards, and he got a car, Toyota Celica.
You're talking about Cleto Rodriguez, the Cleto Rodriguez. Okay, no offense.
Yeah,
but
no.
I'm
He used to love playing cards. That's the reason why he didn't run for politics.
Oh.
Because he said he didn't want to give up playing cards. And he would play
Wow.
poker till
Okay.
5 in the morning, and
Hey, man.
he made money like nobody's business. And he'd come
I'd have
home.
to give up weed. I ain't running either. Anyway, go ahead.
Wait a minute.
He comes around and he goes, do you have a car? Where's your car? I go, the motor fell off. And he goes, you don't have nothing? I go, no. He goes, you know how to drive standard? I go, yeah. He goes, that car's yours.
Man.
I go, okay. He goes, you want it? Here's the keys right there. I go, can I get it tomorrow? He goes, sure. I went with my buddy who had the same exact car. Had him teach me how to drive standard.
Oh, no.
I didn't know how to drive standard. I had to teach me how to drive standard
Dang, man.
in the parking lot. The next day I thought, okay, I'm ready. All right, Grandpa, I'm ready for the car. And he goes, there's the keys. Oh, you're not going to drive with me? He goes, no. All right. I took off, and I tell you what, my heart pounded forever. You know that hill right there where Alamo Stadium is?
Oh, sure, yeah.
That sucker on the standard, you got to make sure. I was trying hard to go. I stripped that dang thing, and just to get through there,
Dang.
I mean, that was the hardest hill. I didn't like hills after that.
Yeah.
I did not like hills after that. So
Still
finally,
trying to picture your car. The bottom fell out.
oh man, that thing just boom.
Cleto Flintstone
Just
over there.
boom.
I'm sorry. I just can't get that image out of my head.
Well, I tell
Did
you
you
what,
tear the
I
grandpa's
couldn't-
car up though? Did you get it? Obviously, you got it back and everything.
Well-
you probably
well,
never even knew you
Well, after I
ruined the transmission.
No, he had no clue. I ruined the whole darn thing, and I wind up getting that Celica, and that thing led me to, it was good. It was good. A good little car.
Well, he trusted you.
Yeah,
You lied
so
to his face.
I did,
But you
and
made
I
it
felt
work.
Bad.
It was fine. Yeah.
Felt bad till the next day. Where I was like, well, technically, I didn't lie anymore. I like,
You do know how to drive standard
I don't
now.
drive standard now. So
I've been driving to Stanford for 20 hours.
that's right. Thank you, North Star Mall parking lot.
Oh, my gosh.
Dang,
Now,
golly.
a few more minutes here on the 3 Cents Podcast. We are thrilled to be today for the first time inside the luxurious storage
nice.
room venue facility at Prestige Motorsports, which behind us, I know from this, I love the camera shot here, but just over to that side, they've got the F1 simulator. Up top, you've got like a upscale lounge with any kind of spirits cocktail you can imagine.
It looks like a bar up there.
A video
Nice
wall. And people, you don't have to, they do sell memberships, obviously, and people who are into luxury cars can take advantage of that. But they also, it's quite literally an open house right now. Like the door is unlocked, and if you wanted to come by and just visit and look around, you can certainly do that or give them a call and set up an appointment.
It's not some like you can't come in our club.
Right.
It's not like that at all.
Yeah.
They don't want
They let
that.
us in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well, of course, but seriously.
No,
like,
you're right. You're right.
I
know
just
what you're
talked to
saying.
a buddy today. He was like, "Oh my God, you're going to Prestige? I was in there last week." Oh, okay. Because then I'm like, "Oh, okay. You just walked in. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can check it out. Yeah,
nice
They're
little
open
spot,
for
kinda
business. They're
hidden a
trying to
little bit.
get members to come in here and sign up for membership.
They're
Nice.
having a Halloween party this Thursday night, which the public is invited to. If you're interested, and you can come Thursday night at 8 o'clock.
9711 Plymouth Road.
Yeah, right by the airport. And Ben Brunton, when I talked to him last week, I asked him, I said, of all the places in Bear County or whatever, you could have done this. Because he built this. I mean, this was built, this is from scratch.
Yeah.
This was a lot or whatever it was before. I said, why did you pick this part of town? And immediately he said, because the airport is right, literally a stone's throw away across the highway.
Yeah.
And you can get these, multimillionaires, celebrities, NBA teams that come into town, whatever.
Yeah.
They can leave their car here. They can come in and sip a cocktail, kind of have their own privacy, do their thing. And I thought that makes so much sense,
Yeah. And I didn't know how many people. I know we have a lot of people, but I didn't realize how many people in our town were into. I don't mean like a nice Mercedes. I mean a Bugatti. I'm talking about like stuff that no one has, right? Just 3 days ago. It's funny that we're here today. We saw a $3 million Bugatti Chiron. I can't how you pronounce that, but I don't know.
I don't know.
This is, I mean, like the average San Antonio Spur probably wouldn't spend that kind of money on that kind of car. That is an over-the-top person who has – that's retail $3 million.
That's yeah.
And to even get it, I would be afraid to even put it on the street. Because
Right.
I told you, everybody sucks at driving in this city.
Right.
As soon as it scratches, that's $80,000.
That's it. It's depreciating already.
Oh my
The
God,
Is
minute
that
you
one of
drive
those? Is that one of those here?
No, it's
All
not. But I mean, I'm like, whoever drives the Bugatti, y'all hit this place up. This would be a cool place to come, bring your car, hang out with some people that are into the. This is high dollar, big time car scene, big time car
Ferrari's
people.
nice.
Again, it's one thing to have a Land Rover. It's another thing to have one of the 4 Land Rovers that were made from Abu Dhabi last year, and the Sheik drove it, and now it's got bucket seats, and it's. That's the stuff we're talking about here.
And they can
This is
source it.
amazing.
They can, like, if you said, you saw it on a movie, or I saw it somewhere in a magazine or online somewhere, you can come contact them here and say, I want this car from wherever it is, and they can get it for you and bring it here.
There's a boutique car sales dealership in this building too.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
among many, many other things.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But no, so if you're just joining us here, it's a huge day for us. Obviously, we're thrilled to be here at Prestige. But if you've noticed on the top left of the screen, we've added Integrity Roofing and Siding. And I know Ronnie Suarez was on the Facebook a little while ago watching us. And so if he's still on, just wanted to give him just tons of love and appreciation for this is our first broadcast, obviously, having Integrity Roofing and Siding on board. And so Ronnie and Stephanie, we are thrilled that they saw something here. To my knowledge, they haven't pulled their sponsorship yet. I was just checking to see. We're about almost 55 minutes in.
Let him marinate a little
but
bit,
I'm
Ronnie.
just checking. No, I
Let
think we're
him
still
marinate a
happy.
little bit.
He's fine. Did you see the sweet email he wrote to us last night?
Yes. No, he sent a very sweet email.
Yeah, I'm excited to
So,
meet him. I don't think I have met Ronnie.
No, I don't know that you have.
I think they did business years ago on the old radio station.
your old-
but
okay.
it's been a minute, so
Okay.
I would love to meet Ronnie.
Amazing
obviously,
people.
as soon as possible, because these things. You know how many podcasts there are? There's probably 25 million podcasts in this world. I can't even imagine how many there are in this town. You know how many actually make any money?
No, I know.
Not even 1%.
And as I look outside, I notice it's a rare thing. It's actually raining or drizzling here, and needless to say, that's a transition to the roofing and the siding. If your house or you need something along those lines, Integrity Roofing and Siding, they've been around for 35 years.
Yeah, man.
There's the logo right there, and you give them a call. I know Ronnie and Stephanie would love to hear from you, and we will have them on this show at some point soon and get to visit more about
I
them.
need roofing. What am I talking about?
So I know a guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do too.
yeah, you do now.
I do now.
You do now.
I do now.
Final thoughts, gentlemen, here as we get ready to wrap up. I noticed you had a Wemby shirt on, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the season tips off tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Yes.
And I wonder if you have any thoughts. I don't know if you're like they're going to go 50 and 32, or what?
Yeah.
Like if you were to put a number on what success would look like for the Spurs this year.
41 and 41.
You're going to go 500
I think they can win 40 games.
and get into the playoffs.
I think they will. I think that in these playoffs now with the play-in game, that's good enough to get into the playoffs. And
Like
I'm not saying that because I'm a homer. I really do think that.
No, I mean you do this for a
I
living.
think this
so.
thing here is it's not quite a sleeping giant just yet, but it's on the way.
If they can stay healthy, though.
Yeah.
If they
I
can
know,
just
of course.
stay
But
healthy.
that's the thing for sure. And I love this kid Wembanyama,
Yeah.
and he is the real deal. But he's not played 82 games in his career before, but he has been in the fishbowl. He'll be able to handle all this hype. No problem. Pop said last week, this is not like Timmy. Timmy was this shy kid from the islands. I don't care to do any of that.
Right.
Whatever. I'm fine. I'll do a commercial, but David has to do it with me.
Yes.
This kid's all over the internet. He likes to hang out in bars with his cowboy hat on. He shows up and shoots hoops under the bridges.
Went to the Alamo and all that
Who's
stuff.
that monster? His Wemby. He is out, and he's a 19-year-old kid who's come up in the internet age.
Yeah.
And he can handle the fishbowl because he's been in France and Europe for years. He's been a pro for 3 years.
It's interesting
already.
that you brought up the Tim Duncan connection because, I started covering the Spurs in his second season in '99, right when they won the championship, and that no social media, internet was a baby back
Timmy
then.
wouldn't have had it now. The way he's just cut.
And
if Tim were 19, he still wouldn't be on Twitter or nothing like that. I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
But I think Wemby has all world talent. He has a different. He's not Timmy. He has a different skill set than Tim had. Right. He's going to be gargantuan in this league for a long time. Literally for a long time. But they've got some other players that no one knows about.
Right.
Outside of this town. Right. Like I tell my brother up there, hey, watch out. There's this kid Vassell. Can't even say his name.
Devin Vassell.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Big Brother, in a year when they win 50 games and shock the world, and Devin Vassell's on the All-Star team.
Yeah.
I think he's that good.
I think they'll reach 50.
Keldon Johnson turned into a real solid veteran now.
You said 50?
I say 50.
You think they'll win 50 games?
Wow, this year, good grief. I think Jeremy Sohan, I said 42, one out 8 more, right? Jeremy Sohan's a rising star in this league, and this is going to generate hype for this team. They've got money and free agency to spend. I think for the first time you may see this organization finally become attractive to other guys.
They're going to be on national TV all the time now.
I mean, I think we're about to go through this again in San Antonio, and I don't want to compare us to dump cities like Milwaukee, but it's kind of like we're going to get back to what Milwaukee has been with Giannis. I can't say his name.
Antetokounmpo, yes.
Antetokounmpo.
Right.
What they've been with. Let's go with Giannis.
He's $62 million a year man now, as of yesterday.
What they've been able, we're going to be back. But now they've got superstars playing with Giannis. They traded for
Dame.
So anyway, I'm just saying. I think that this is not going to be even like it was before. It's a different team, different kids, different personalities.
It's a different league too because they're playing these preseason games like it's like already started. They went
all out. Yeah,
man.
Yeah. And I think Pop's going to actually coach this year.
Well,
part of it was we tried really hard not to win.
That's right.
We tried really hard.
Yeah.
We weren't losing on purpose, but we weren't trying to win.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, that horrible defense. I bet they have I'm not saying I don't want to get crazy.
They're going to improve overnight.
I don't want to be a homer.
Yeah.
This thing is going to be in the top half of the league in defense. I'll put that. Well, they were 30th last year. They'll be top 15, and I'm not saying top 2, but much improved. You'll see kids that you. Wow! Look
say top 8.
Look how good Sohan has got. Look
but
how
about this in honor of Mike Taylor tomorrow? Season tips off, Mavericks, Spurs.
Well, I'm going to plug my appearance now since you did that. Yeah. I'm a Spurs fan. So it's once again it's interstate rivals. What a great week.
Yeah.
Interstate rivals and such. I'm going to be at a place called the Ringer Pub.
Okay.
On Jones Maltzberger and Thousand Oaks Boulevard. There's a big giant strip, big thrift store right next to it.
You started to say strip. I got nervous.
Mall.
I was like, wait a minute.
Strip mall next to a huge thrift mart.
Okay.
It's Jones Maltzberger, Thousand Oaks, and right there in the corner it's the Ringer. It's a really cool little pub that we do business with on my other show.
You'll be out there
I'm
tomorrow?
going to be watching the Spurs play the Dallas Mavs tomorrow night. It's an
8:30.
8:30. We're on the national TV right off the top.
Right.
8:30. That's late, but come out there if y'all looking
on a
for
school
place,
night.
If you want a place to go drink a beer with us and watch the game, come out. We're not doing any shows. I may crack the phone open for a minute, but we're not doing shows. I'm literally going to sit there, drink beer, and watch the game. So come out and hang out.
Very good. Okay, on that note, we're going to call it a show for today, but we've had a lot of fun. And again, we are thrilled to have Integrity Roofing and Siding on board. And thank you so much to our friends here, Ben Brunton and his amazing team at Prestige Motorsports for having us. Hopefully we can do it again very soon. All right, all the best. Yes, everybody.
Bye, guys.
for Cleto Rodriguez and Mike Taylor, I'm Ernie Zuniga. This is the 3 Cents Podcast. We will see you next time.